Chip Kelly, head coach, University of Oregon football. It's a special university. It's got the best fans in college football. We've been sold out for 75 straight games. They're smart, they're intelligent, they're passionate about this game. It's got an unbelievable coaching staff that's got over 100 years of coaching experience, and it does things the right way.
Greetings, Duck fans. It has been a crazy, hectic week for me, and I have a ton of projects to do this weekend. So hopefully this episode is going to be a bit shorter than usual, but knowing me, I'm probably still going to go long. First off, Kenny Wheaton is in Eugene this weekend. He asked me to provide him with some videos to help out with a football clinic that took place today, Friday. Thursday he had a fundraiser, or I guess Wednesday he had a fundraiser at Papa's Pizza for the Kenny Wheaton Foundation. Please support the Kenny Wheaton Foundation if you can. I've donated to it in the past. For as great a football player as Kenny was, he's an even better person. And what he's doing with the Kenny Wheaton Foundation is fantastic. Any Oregon fan should be behind it. So if you can, please go to www.kennywheatonfoundation.org and show your support. Also, coming up October 29th, Kenny is going to be inducted into the Oregon Ducks Hall of Fame. So congratulations, Kenny Wheaton. I wrote about this from my very first FishDuck article back in early August, but if you need a refresher on who the big bald guy is who will be standing next to him during the on-field ceremony, go read my article on Jaya Figueres. I was also contacted by former Oregon linebacker AJ Tuitele, who is continuing his playing dreams, trying out for a semi-pro team in South Dakota. And he asked me to put together a highlight reel for him of some of his best plays from college, so that'll be going up on YouTube soon. It's on my huge laundry list of things to do, so you'll be seeing something go up on YouTube soon. Also, speaking of YouTube, in case you missed it, there was yet another new Oregon Ducks music video that came out this past week. White guys rapping about the Oregon Ducks. Original, right? You know, it is what it is at this point. To me, this one seems almost more like a commercial than a music video, but, you know, add it to the list. It's, you know, one thing is for sure, when it comes to school-themed music, Oregon has lapped the rest of the country's Steve Prefontaine style several times by now.
Ducks, yeah, throw your ozone up, throw 'em up, yeah, we run this is our era, got the O's up high, you better grab an umbrella, we make it rain, oh, we run this is our era, got the O's up high, you better grab an umbrella, we make it rain, oh, we make it rain on them O's, we make it rain, oh, we make it rain on them O's, we make it rain, oh, we make it rain on them O's, we make it rain, oh, we make it rain on them O's.
As for FishDuck.com, we continue growing the site, and word about it is spreading like crazy. We're really starting to see the fruits of our labor come into effect. This week we got some great publicity from SmartFootball.com and from Quackmaster.blogspot.com, who has supported a couple of my DuckTales articles thus far. I got some great feedback from my Wednesday article about the 2000 Oregon-Arizona State double OT game, a game I'm proud to say I personally attended, and I think I had 4 heart attacks that day. So my ticker's never been the same since that hot day in Phoenix. For that article, I interviewed Keenan Howery and Jason Nicolau and Jason Willis. And with the Arizona State game coming up Saturday night, I thought it was appropriate to revisit the best game in the history of the series between the Ducks and the Sun Devils. Now, Addicted to Quack, Duck Sports Now, and Mike Wine's blog continue to support our content. They've been huge supporters from the get-go. They continue to do so. We say thank you for that. Charles and I both thank you very much for continuing to promote our site. Charles and I, along with the rest of the FishDuck staff, have worked very hard to provide you with great articles, videos, and really unique content. And all the feedback we've received seems to show that we're on the right track. As for me, I'm super busy these days. I started a new job last month, and my commute is long and the hours are kind of crazy. So I'm having to squeeze in interviews and writing sessions and video work whenever I can find a free second. But if you've noticed that I'm not doing as many YouTube videos as I used to, that's why. It's not easy pumping out these articles each week, but you know, the response has been so overwhelmingly positive to what I've been writing that you know, people seem to really enjoy them, so I will continue writing them for as long as I can. I will do my best. Now, as for the ASU game, there will be 3 major themes discussed ad nauseum by the announcers. 1. Brock Osweiler is really tall. 2. Vontaze Burfict might decapitate somebody at any given moment. And 3. LaMichael James's elbow injury sure looked bad. Now, if they actually mention fake injuries from last year's game where it reached absurd proportions and really started that tactic against Oregon, then I will actually give the announcers some credit. That means they were actually paying a little bit of attention as opposed to only focusing on Cal's floppy ways when that video that Russell made went viral. Because as any attentive Oregon fan can tell you, ASU started it. Stanford and Washington State continued it. Cal got caught. ASU does have a formidable offense and a very, very solid defense. This is no gimme game, but I never trust a team that is led by Drunk Dennis. They always seem to underperform, choke, or are otherwise playing very sloppy. With the added attention on them this week with game day in town and being a night game at Autzen, I just don't see ASU winning. Chip doesn't lose at home no matter what the circumstance, but I think the Sun Devils will be very competitive through the first half, maybe into the third quarter. And yes, Brock Osweiler is very tall, and yes, Vontaze Burfict may kill somebody, and yes, boy, LaMichael James's elbow injury last week looked nasty. We get it. Move on. There's other things to talk about. As for Oregon, it will be a test to see how they perform without the Michael to really lean on. I haven't heard official word as to if the Michael will dress or not because Oregon is so cryptic about injuries, though Deron Thomas did leak to the press that he's probably not going to play, and that seems like the logical move. Even if he does dress, expect him to be used only if it's an absolute emergency situation. If Kenyon Barner, Trey Carson, and DeAnthony Thomas all get hurt, then maybe we'll see LaMichael James, but he's not going to play Saturday. I highly doubt he steps onto the field, but if he does, I'd welcome it. I'd applaud it. I mean, the guy has a much more better, tolerance to pain threshold than I do, that's for sure. This will be Kenyon Barner's game, and Deron has to start showing more consistency in his throws. He's done a terrific job in the zone reads this year, and if you don't think so, you think he should run it more, just go watch FishDuck's newest video to really get put in your place. He's done a great job of doing the reads, but he's been really hit or miss all season despite his impressive overall numbers in the passing game. Guys are going to have to step up in the Michael's absence, and that starts with Deron Thomas. And while I think the secondary has been playing great all year, somebody hang on to the freaking ball. Oregon has averaged 31 turnovers a year the last few seasons. To match that number, they will need to force 3.5 turnovers every game from this point going forward. They've had the opportunities, but while the secondary has been very technically proficient, jeebus have they dropped just a ton of passes that were thrown almost right to them. Oregon should have had so many interceptions this year. Also, if you're up for it, SB Nation came up with a great Dennis Erickson drinking game for the broadcast tomorrow night. I think the rules are if you're the last one who hasn't yet died of alcohol poisoning, you win. Congratulations. So ESPN Game Day will be in Eugene. This has become an annual occurrence, and I for one welcome our ESPN College Game Day overlords. But because of the CAS Center construction, they're setting up the stage on campus near the dorms. So expect a massive contingent of students out for the broadcast. This should be the biggest group that they've seen yet at Game Day, at least in Eugene. So come on, Duck fans, don't let us down. My music recommendation for this week is Movits. Now, if you're a fan of Stephen Colbert, you may already be familiar with Movits. If you aren't, then this is not quite like anything you've heard before. Movits are a Swedish swing jazz hip-hop group. Yes, you heard me. Swedish swing jazz hip-hop. Sounds weird? It is, but in a pretty cool way. They've released 2 albums, and the second record actually has some tracks in English on it, but the first album is entirely in Swedish. They've toured the US several times. I caught them here in LA back in February. It was tons of fun. They take 40s style swing jazz music and they blend it with hip hop to create a sound kind of similar to what has been tried in the past with artists like Jimmy Luxury and the Tommy Rum Orchestra or Lou Bega, but then add in a Swedish mix with a touch of gypsy music. And it isn't gimmicky or cheesy like Jimmy Luxury or Lou Bega. They're genuine with this hip-hop swing jazz style. And you know what? It works. It's fascinating music. Even if I don't speak Swedish, I still find the music awesome. So check it out. Here's Movits.
Sound old school, baby, like Frankenstein and Davis. Singing the way they can't just can't believe what it says. But they tell me it was way the way back in the day. Singing sound old school, baby, like Frankenstein and Davis. Singing the way they can't just can't believe what it says. But they tell me it was better way back in the day. Ain't this was like a bonus. Respect the school, get the club and awesome. Vision distinction, have I been caution. And they have to even dance and dance and forget the cold and seven love man. Hey, it's a cold thing, hawking the beat, singing the team, and the game, and the jam, and the release, and the boyfriend shooting without the knees, but a beat and a beat and seven days. But take that cold and the police and at the court and had the Jesus, what it is, and he said, oh, running from uncle, girl from the same, she makes it open 18, and we're from the gather. So you're my honey, passion matter, and then people build it for you. You know that it's solid, you both the old school, baby, like Frankenstein and Davis. Singing the rain like King Kelly, no, I just can't believe what it says. But they tell me it was better way back in the day. GBC and Sam, old school, baby, like Frankenstein and Davis. Singing the rain like King Kelly, no, I just can't believe what it says. But they tell me it was better way back in the day. Alright, Los Angeles. This is what we alluded to Sweden for the James Brown moments. Come on. It's a dumb dude singing you and I'm going to get it all right. I'm going to make something keep a single scan for you, but in the hand with James Brown. We're going to eat this in my soul. We don't get what we're wrong. And if you go to the boom, stuck up with the guitar. And you get your sexy knee. We're on it underneath it. Summer song for sing your same old school baby like Frankenstein and Davis. Singing the way like King Kelly, no, I just can't believe what it said. But they tell me it was better way back in the day. Sing your same old school baby like Frankenstein and Davis. Singing the way like King Kelly, no, I just can't believe what it said. But they tell me it was better way back in the day.
So that's it for me. It's been a long week. It's going to be a very long weekend. I have a lot of stuff to work on. No rest for the wicked. And for those in Eugene, no rest either, as I expect Duck fans to be out in huge numbers Saturday morning on campus for ESPN College Game Day. So until next week, this is Kurt saying, Go Ducks.